Hey everyone, Diana Ramirez here. As we celebrate Women's History Month, it's not just about looking back at the remarkable achievements of women who paved the way for us. It's also about highlighting the strides we're making right now. In this video, we're diving deep into how Harris County is actively building women up, focusing on the impactful work being accomplished and the progress being made for women across all walks of life. While it's essential to honor the past, let's also shine a light on the present and future because every day is an opportunity to empower and uplift one another. So let's jump in and explore how we're shaping history and the future for women in Harris County. Welcome, everyone. In the U.S., this month is celebrated as Women's History Month. So it's fitting to shine a spotlight on the incredible work being done in our community to uplift and empower our women. So we're delving into crucial topics affecting women's economic empowerment and health outcomes in our community, showcasing resilience and dedication of women leaders in Harris County. Joining me for this discussion are Chairwoman Ellen Cohen of the county's Women's Commission, and then we have Director Santrice Jones from the Department of Economic Equity and Opportunity, who leads the Early Childhood Initiatives Program, and Sergeant Melissa Barajas from the Harris County Sheriff's Office, who will be sharing insights on the Women's Empowerment Center, part of Sheriff Ed Gonzalez's innovative approach to serving women in the sheriff's custody. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So I'd like to go around the table and ask each of you to share a brief perspective on why Women's History Month matters and how you see its importance reflected in the work being done to uplift and empower the women in Harris County. So, Chairwoman Cohen, can I get you started?
Well, it's interesting. I have a visceral reaction to the idea of Women's History Month. I mean, I think it's terrific. I love seeing women featured, going back whatever and to today. At the same time, I'd rather see 11 months of women's history being featured, and 1 month we won't talk about women. I mean, that to me would be the greatest thing. So, that said, I'm pleased that we do have a month, that we can feature women, and that we are featuring women of different ethnicities, different backgrounds, different religions, different, everything. So that it's not just focused on one group of people. So I'm thrilled about it.
Excellent. Thank you. Director Jones?
Thank you so much. And so I resonate with you so much in what you said. This should be something that we're celebrating all the time, not just one time throughout the course of the year. But with that also being said, something comes to mind of a historical figure by the name of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She had great quotes all throughout her life. And one that really resonates with me is that women should be at the table where decisions are being made. That should not be an anomaly. And we see that all throughout Harris County, from our county judge to Commissioner Briones, department leaders such as Deanna. I know in DEEO, we also have Estela Gonzalez. And then over in PHS, we have Barbie Robinson. So throughout Harris County, we are continuing to see women leading. And that's why this month is so important here within Harris County.
Yes, and I agree. Thank you for that. I agree with the reflection of the contribution that women have made in the past and has impacted a month that we get, which should be, like you said, more than 1 month. I know Sheriff Gonzalez is committed to do the 30 by 30, which is a reform, and it's to get 30% of his command staff or employment to have 30% of them be women by the year 2030. So personally, in law enforcement, a male-dominated field, we're striving to get more women in our field so that we could be leaders too and sit at the high tables and make the decisions that need to be met as well. So we appreciate his initiative, and we hope to one day I could be at that table.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Could I jump in with one table thought?
Mm-hmm.
There was another expression that when you quoted Ruth Bader Ginsburg, that's great. And to that, I would add the expression that if you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
So true.
And that's what we have to watch for.
So right now in our detention command, we have 44% of our command staff is women. So that's a good step. The detention command, I work with them, strong leaders, and they're paved the way for me. So, hopefully one day I'll get there. But it's awesome that at least it's in the detention command. Now we need to shift it to the law enforcement command. the patrol officers, the majors, things like that at high ranking levels, so that we can make decisions as well.
Perfect.
That's great.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And understand that there's, I guess you have a new rank of captain,
Yes,
and we have the first woman who
Yes,
made the rank
yes,
of
ma'am.
captain also in the sheriff's
She's not a
office.
lieutenant. She just became the first female captain,
Terrific.
detention captain, because we only have captain in law enforcement. Now she's a detention captain, which is awesome. Great leader to work for. I've worked with her personally, so that's awesome that we at least made that, that movement already in my time here with the sheriff's department. So it's historical. It just shows the lower level that it can move up to at least the captain level. That's awesome.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
That's great. And so let's dive into a little bit about what each of you do in your different program areas. And so, Chairwoman Cohen, can you tell us a little bit about the Harris County Women's Commission and what you all are up to?
Well, we're always getting in a little bit of trouble, but that
good.
wasn't the real goal. But our job really is to advise the commissioners. Doesn't mean that what we suggest that they have to do, but we're on a listening tour. We've gone to all the commissioners' precincts, districts, to listen to what people there, particularly women, have to say. What are the issues? What are you concerned about? Concerned about the fact that I can't find childcare for my child. Concerned about the fact that I can't get the health care that I need. We find that from this commission, from commissioner, that commissioner, and we begin to put together what the main issues are. And that's what we're going to report back to Commissioner's Court.
Great. Excellent. And I'm going to skip down to Director Jones. And if you could let me know, on the early childhood initiatives, I mean, what does that mean? That's such a broad name and topic. And I know you all have a lot of projects working.
Yes, and it is very broad. And you hit on it when you said finding childcare for women. Women are trying to look for childcare. That's one of our areas of focus. So we have 5 different goal areas that we're focusing in on. High quality, affordable childcare and out of school learning, parent education, because it's very important that the parents are informed and educated as well. The early childhood workforce, because not just in the school sector of K to 12 are we seeing that there are not a lot of teachers. We're also seeing that in the even younger years. So we want to ensure that the workforce is strong and developed there as well. And then making sure that we support those vulnerable populations. We know that women very often have several barriers that they have to overcome when it comes to just living life, being able to make ends meet, things of that nature, which places them in a vulnerable population scenario many times. And then finally, utilizing data and analysis. We are utilizing the Rapid Survey in partnership with the University of Houston and Stanford University to get the voice of families, to get the voices of mothers and see where their needs are so that we can forge the trail to meet those needs throughout the county. So those are our 5 areas that we're focusing on throughout early childhood. And at this time, we have approximately 18 programs that are either in implementation or gearing up to start. So very exciting time for early childhood here in Harris County.
That's good.
Wow.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. And now to skip to you, Sergeant Barajas, and the Women's Empowerment Center. Now that you just celebrated, I guess, year 1, your first anniversary of being open. What are the types of programs and services that you're providing there for the women that you couldn't provide in the main jail?
Well, yes. So the Women's Empowerment Center, we have a great program portfolio. And speaking of childhood initiatives, we do have 97% of the women in there are mothers. So that's important that we hit those vulnerable populations and residents that need help. The programs that we have GED. Our partner, education partner is HCC, Houston Community College. They come and do GED, ESL, the first educational foundation, so that when they get out of jail, they can, get a job. A GED is the first step to get in a job, employment. We work with HCC as well for Apple computer technology class. Some of these ladies never even use a computer. They don't know how to navigate through a Mac computer. So, and that's important it's important for employment now. Everything is done on a computer. Everything's done on an iPad or a laptop. So it's important for them to get those foundations so that when they get out, they have a good foundation to get a job. We provide them resources as far as reentry services, job placement, shelters, if they're homeless, IDs, identifications, things that they need, basic need, child services, child assistance. So we hope to give them the services they need and provide them with what they need so they don't come back to our jail. So we make them a better neighbor in Harris County, and we can avoid recidivism, and it doesn't impact their children as well, because most of the time, if somebody's in jail, it's just a cycle and a family dynamic that we want to cut off as soon as possible, for sure.
Right. And so I know you've just celebrated your first year of having the Women's Empowerment Center open. So it might be a little early yet for data on recidivism and how the women are doing, post being in the jail. But, are you seeing anything,
Yes.
any signs?
We do have the data. It's not, we don't have that too many programs yet to have an accurate one, but we do get testimonies and letters from the clients or residents that have left, how we help them. I mean, we just had an interview with one. She was able to get a job, get her children back. So we get positive feedback from them when they leave. And then we have case managers that follow them throughout when they are released from jail, and they keep up and let us know, their status and, their services that they need. They can still reach back to us, and we'll provide it for them as still even out in the society already. We're just trying to make them better people.
Exactly.
Yes.
No, that's fantastic. And coming back to you, Director Jones, of the kind of 18 programs that you all are running or getting kicked off, are there some that you see, at least from early stages, where you think it's something that we'd want to continue and we need to find ways to bring in philanthropy, to bring in, the business community to help us in getting that institutionalized in the county?
Yes, all of them.
Well, let's prioritize.
But if we are prioritizing, one that automatically comes to the forefront is our Early Reach program. And this is an alternative to the Child Care Subsidy and Scholarship program that is currently being facilitated throughout the county and across the state of Texas. So this gives parents an option and some choices in the say of where their child will be attending childcare and also what those services will look like. So the contracted slots model, which is known as Early Reach, allows for parents to, first of all, see what's out there. What do I have to choose from? And from there, they make the decision, and we have a contract with those childcare facilities. So the childcare facility also benefits in not having to poach parents from other childcare providers or struggle to find those children that are needed to fill those spaces. We've seen tremendous success with this. Our initial goal was between 800 and 1,000 children, and we've already surpassed it. So it's working. And so that's something that I think the county should definitely consider for future funding. And then in addition to that, we are really diving deep into the communities with our early learning quality networks. We are partnering with zip codes throughout Harris County to see what's important to the community. What do you see as quality initiatives when it comes to early childhood for your demographics and populations? And we're creating a plan together with those communities to ensure that whatever that community's needs are, we're able to meet them. So those are two that come to the forefront that are already in implementation, but I'm very excited to see as we launch several other programs, how that data is going to come back and what implementation will consist of as well.
And now for Director Jones and Sergeant Barajas, as women of color also, like me, I mean, have there been specific challenges that you have encountered as both a woman and a woman of color in your career fields and just, through life? And, how have you handled that? How have you kind of risen above it?
You want me to go? Oh,
Yeah,
well, I'm in law enforcement, and so that's male dominated already. So it's already a challenge there, right? So female one, we have to gain respect, harder than a male, right? So we go onto a scene. This is community sees a male, they're probably going to go to him, and they're going to maybe bypass us. So we have to make sure that we keep up our education. We need to make sure that we empower ourselves. We need to bring each other up. Our stature, we have to know how to use our voice more. When we're approaching a suspect or something, and we have to know how to communicate as a male. We're not strong enough like a male. So that's a challenge that I've encountered, right? I can't physically get into an altercation. I have to use my voice. So those are challenges that I have, how to use a weapon. We have to keep up with those standards, because if not, they'll, they look at us different. Those are challenges that I've had as a female. As a woman of color, well, I came from immigrant parents, so I've had to I went to the Army. I've had a lot of obstacles in my in my life, and through going to the military, it helped me, get an education. I have a master's degree, and so just empowering even my staff now. I'm like, I need to go to school. Education is something that they can never take away from you, and it's a foundation, right? So just so we tell our residents at the jail, education is a foundation, and this is for you as well. So it's just empowering each other, staying focused, staying positive. We need to be courageous in our convictions and empower each other.
Beautiful.
Yes, and so thank you so much for sharing that, Sergeant Barajas. And to add on, I really think that in these spaces, you tend to ask yourself, am I good enough?
Yeah.
And being in these spaces, the ultimate answer is yes, I am. And Michelle Obama actually says that in her book, Becoming.
Wow.
She references how she has been in such spaces and questioned herself. And at the end of the day, knowing that you are good enough.
Right.
And if not good enough, better than others to be in those
Yeah,
spaces
sure.
as well. So with that being said, throughout my life, I have been encouraged from a child. My parents, my grandparents, they were just visiting me here recently, and I was telling them about some of my goals and aspirations that I have in the forefront of my life. And they said, you know what? You can do anything that you put your mind to. And that's something they have instilled within me. And I just feel so grateful to have those opportunities and people who have been there to encourage me along the way. So regardless of what room I'm in, regardless of what table I'm sitting at or who's in front of me, am I good enough at the end of the day? Yes, I am.
You bet.
That's
You
awesome.
bet. Yeah.
It's awesome that Director Jones, I really appreciate that. Yeah, and imposter syndrome is a reality for most women as you get up. I never imagined I would be county administrator. So yeah, live with it every day, but keep talking to yourself that I do belong here. That's great. And so final question to close out, in reflecting on the significance of Women's History Month, as leaders in your field, what advice would you have for the women behind us, the ones that are just coming into the workforce, that are young in their careers, that are trying to figure out their way in the world? What would you tell them? Director Jones, go ahead.
Okay, I can
Go
answer
first.
that, definitely. I would tell them, do not be afraid to forge uncharted paths. If we continue to do things the exact same way that they've always been done, what's going to happen? We're going to continue to yield the same results.
Yeah.
And so as we begin to have those seats at the table, as we begin to climb ladders and break ceilings, continue to forge those trails, because that's what's truly going to change society and make the world a better place for everyone.
Thank you.
That's true. And in law enforcement, we don't have that many females. So it's important for us as leaders to set the path as well for them, encourage them. Ripple effects. Sometimes you have to be a little disturbance and, cause, and they might call it complaining, they might call it whatever, but it's important for us. So we need to pave the way, make sure that we keep them motivated and positive and encourage them to get education, in my opinion.
I really feel that women, clearly, as was articulated, can do anything. We really can. And we shouldn't be shy to say what we can do. Because the final thing, I've had experience in the as a city council member, as a mayor pro tem, so I've been in politics. And I know one thing that happens is you go to a woman and you say, would you be interested in running for? And before you can say it, they say no. Now, if you say to a man, would you be interested? They say yes. Then whatever it is, I'll run for it. So we have to be strong and we have to be willing to put ourselves out there. And clearly the two women here today have done that. Thank you.
Thank you. And I want to thank you, all three of you, for the work you do, in the community and in your jobs, and for Harris County. It's priceless, really. And keep up the great work. I really appreciate it. And to the county employees who identify as women who are watching this, thank you for the work you do to serve Harris County, while also balancing roles with spouses and partners, children and parents, and your communities. I appreciate you.